To other news now. Anger is boiling over at the White House over an explosive new tell-all book from former FBI Director James Comey. His memoir, A Higher Loyalty, Truth, Lies and Leadership, features a scathing assessment of the Trump presidency. It hits bookshelves on Tuesday, but snippets have already been published by some US media outlets. Donald Trump has come out guns blazing, slamming the man he fired as weak, a liar and a slimeball. For more on this story, let's bring in Eric Lissan, legal analyst and former US federal prosecutor. Eric, thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. The White House is bracing itself for this book, but also the slew of interviews James Comey is set to give in order to plug this memoir. Can we expect him to do any real damage?
Yes, I think so. Even though the book has been expected for a long time, for many months, and even though, by and large, the contents of it were already known. Comey testified before Congress last summer, and there has been reporting off and on, and even comments he's made since then. So I don't think there's any real huge surprises, but nonetheless, it is very damaging to the president in the political context to see all this out in one place, in public forum, to see him standing by these statements, knowing that they're going to be picked apart, and knowing that any witness that can be found to contradict any part of them will be put forward to try to show that Comey is a liar. But he's putting his credibility out there. This is consistent with what he said, and I think the cumulative effect of it is going to be that whereas anytime you have the FBI director calling the president an out-and-out liar, it's not good for the president.
Indeed. Well, on the other hand, the Republicans have launched a massive media blitz to try and discredit James Comey. Is it working?
I don't think that it's working. That's a more subjective question. Certainly, to a certain extent, it depends on where you get your news in the United States. If you get your news from Fox News, then yes, that's a much different type of news than most of the other so-called mainstream outlets. And this is part of Trump's whole war on the media. So those people, though, tend to identify more with his base. And a lot of this, including the pardon today of Scooter Libby, which is separate but nonetheless related here, is all about galvanizing support among that base, because I think many people in Trump's orbit feel that going beyond the base is going to be a very difficult, if not impossible, task. So this is not about trying to convince other people that may be on the fence. It's about retaining support from those those hardcore supporters of the president. And that's where this Lying Comey website and all of these other over-the-top attacks are really designed. I will point out, you said in your introduction, you pointed out the sort of childish insults that the president has lobbed at James Comey. That is a 180-degree opposite switch from Trump's language before he fired Comey, when he thought Comey was so great because he had helped take down Hillary Clinton. So it really it's all situation-driven for the president.
OK, Eric, thank you once again for your time. Eric Lissan, legal analyst and former US federal prosecutor. Thank you.